No, it's now. Really? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
About to start so insurance so basic phone call. She
Okay.
like introduced the hotline. I mean the online reporting mechanism hotline to Hong
Right.
Kong. So just taking a reference from your work and I saw that it's very good report and
Oh,
the
thank you.
mechanism.
Good. So are you with Bianca?
Yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
Bianca.
Okay. Right. Okay. Right.
Last week you used ambassadors like years ago,
So,
6 years ago.
Yeah.
good morning, everyone. At the outset, we are so happy to have you here. I mean, I think it's about you. I mean, it's about us. I mean, we are talking about child online protections and collaboration, how we can take it beyond. So we had some interesting discussions yesterday during the session with Be Protect about we talked about child online protection and how this whole probably domain is evolving. So I'll probably start with a quote from Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan, who was the president and the founder of UAE. The real wealth of the country is made up of a man, of children's, and of future generation. It is this which contribute the real treasure. So with this, I start the panel discussion, and we are great to have you here. And we have a quite a good range of speakers from different industry sectors. We have Clara Somrin from she's the child protection specialist, exploitation and violence from UNICEF. Welcome, Clara. Then we have Huta Kroll. She's the managing director from German Center for Child Protection on Internet. Then we have David Ng, from the Dot Kit Foundations. We have Natasha Jackson. She is the head of public policy and consumer affairs from GSMA. We have Susie Hargavis, the CEO of Internet Watch Foundation. We have also Dr. Ibrahim Al Dabal. He is the head of Akdar, which is a Khalifa student empowerment program from the government of UAE. We have Dr. Hamid Mohammed Al Nayadi. He is the CEO of eSafe Society, who is very prominent in UAE doing child online security work. We also have the chairman of eSafe Society, Dr. Abdullah, to grace this whole occasion. And myself, I'm from Internet Society UAE chapter. I have worked towards with Mohammed on probably bringing this panel together. So just a quick probably start of the session. So we will have panel speaking for us for around 5 to 7 minutes. So they'll talk about what are the hard pressing issues their industries. They'll probably provide their perspective on this whole issue and how they suggest that this collaboration can be taken forward. So we'll have 5 to 7 minutes intervention from each of the panel members. Then we'll open the floor for more interactive discussion. So we want to hear from you. What do you think how this could be taken further? And then probably if there are any questions and the closing remarks. So that's the structure of the workshop. So I would probably request Dr. Hamid to start with.
Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm really happy to be here today. ACDR, extremely happy to be part of UAE delegations. And ACDR we are working under ACDR, Khalifa Empowerment for Student. And ACDR consists of 27 federal entities, industrials, private, and governments. Our aim, eSafe Society aim is to empower students, empower people, to protect children from the risk of the internet. Currently, we see nowadays people are using the internet more and more, and there are not much reliable programs or tools to protect us from the risks out there. So, our aim is to build programs that will satisfy these objectives with and under ACDR Empowerment for Student. our role is to give consultations and to give advices as an advisory role to the entities, to the governments, to the other societies in the UAE. Our role, again, is to find the best program from all over the world and then blend it to the UAE culture so that the student can understand the society, they can understand the environment they are living in so that they can adapt and protect themselves. With me today is our chairman, Dr. Abdullah, and also Mustafa, the CEO of eSafe. And today also we are coming with Aqdar program to cover more into this subject. So we are here helping to build programs with Aqdar and to provide the society with the good tools to protect the children from the risk out there in the cyberspace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hamid. Colonel Dr. Ibrahim, your floor.
It's my honor to be here. As Dr. Hamid mentioned, Aqdar is a collaboration of more than 27 entities in UAE. Just I will give you a very brief idea what is Aqdar. The idea started with His Highness Sheikh Saif, is Under Secretary and Prime Minister, prepare a vision national student empowerment in general program. He gave us 5 limitations. The 5 limitation was the program should be unique. We should see what is the best practice around the world, diversity, the method of the techniques, and the law enforcement is only 10%. Started from Police Ministry of Interior, but it's the limited only 10%, and cooperation with all involved government departments. So it was actually very hard task to implement it in the field. Okay, what's going on? So actually the current situation, I think in UAE and around the world, this is what's happened. The senders, everyone think he's doing to deliver a unique program to the student. By the end of the day, we have a very big focus. We'll find we are working as isolated islands. It means no cooperation. In UAE, we try through Khalifa Empowerment Program to reach from this current situation to this situation. It means everyone is working in cooperation with each other, so we try to unify our message to the students on a very sustainable level. So the miscommunication between partners will lead to this situation. We try actually to unify our message. The students are our own partners. We work as a Khalifa Empowerment Program as UAE giant brain. We sit all together, fight with each other. By the end of the day, we have one homework. So in order to program succeed, our philosophy is teamwork, professionalism, experience, diversity in delivery, and continuous and sustainability. So by the end of the day, after 2 years working, sitting together, discussing, we deliver Khalifa Empowerment Program. Aqdar, it is in English, it is no meaning, but we can translate it, I can. So it means the main concept of the program is empowerment the student. We want the student themselves to work. So what is the Aqdar? It is focusing on entire community spectrum, incorporating all effort to eliminate, customize, and as Dr. Hamid has mentioned, customize within UAE culture and implement it on a national level. We try to involve the whole life of a student, started from 0 point. It means started when he's in school, then to university, after graduation, and then we establish a new family. It means that by the end of this, the internet, it is not affecting the child. It is the whole journey of the students. So after we finish, 2 years working, we finish what we call it the national curriculum UAE. The first, we believe it is the first one in Arab countries. It consists in general 4 pillars. The 4 pillars, personal skills, national awareness, health and safety, crime prevention. So we believe we cannot just focus on e-crime. E-crime started from the personal skills. E-crime started, it is integration program. So that's why in our curriculum, so everything is included in one basket. So our partners, the academic, law enforcement, family and youth programs. One is our main partners is Internet Society. Actually, as Dr. Hamid and Dr. Abdullah is here, we are very proud to cooperate with them in these initiatives. Our partners implemented, as Dr. Hamid mentioned, more than 27, actually it is 30 entities in UAE, and different people. Our target, parents, teachers, students, community. So we started to sign MOUs with all the people related to this program. Our teaching methods, with telling method, doing method, showing method. It is not only just delivering by presentations. We have different tools. I'm going very quick. This is marketing material, for example. We are going marketing, and you have, maybe you'll find it in your table. It is in Arabic, English right now. This is our message. We reached all the students in UAE by one tool or others. Also, we train more than 15,000 teachers in UAE to be our messengers to the students. We launched our games in Apple stores. We can find Agdar games. It is indirected. We implemented so many messages, including the awareness messages. This is the statistic, more than 12 million around the world who launched it. Even the Mexico is included. More than 25,000 individuals from Mexico, they downloaded the game. After working together, we unify national effort in the Safer Internet Day. So we have now one representative in SID, which is Khalifa Empowerment Program. Also, we unify the helpline for a student. The students actually, for example, they have a problem, they don't know to whom to talk. So we have one number, and it is 116-111, which is implemented in more than 61 countries around the world. We have interactive magazines in Arabic and English also. We interactive touch screen in all the school in UAE. Now we are working to create what we call it Agdar e-ambassadors in cooperation with the Emirates E-Society. So they will be our messengers. We are using the tool, what we call it peer educator. It means they will be our messenger within the students. Also, we create a national characters unify message, Salim. It is in Arabic and English. It is one national character. He's sending the good message, the positive message to the students. Also, we have Agdar Summit. It will be in April 2017. It will be very, we try to, we ask all the people around the world whether our curriculum, teaching curriculum, education curriculum, ready to coming challenges around the world. Evaluation, we have evaluation program based on their care capacity students. Achievement till now, we have achieved the WSS prizes, ITU. Also in UAE Ideas, we achieved the international prize from United States. Also last week, we have been achieved a UAE Pioneer Prize from the government of UAE. This video can represent how we try to empower the students.
هي صح هزة عطاري الدراسة.
أخلا
زين اصبر خلنا نلمس الزين.
المس الله يهديك المس ابوي.
شوف أنا الفصل الثاني شديت حيلي شد وما خليت واجب امتحان ما درسته. في النهاية شو حاطين في الشهادة نسبة 80. والله إني مظلوم عيل.
المطلوب
يا أخي أنت ما فيك إحساس ليش خبرك؟
أبركها من ساعة يا أخوك.
أقول لك جتني إضافة من بنت.
ها؟ تحمل تقبل الإضافة.
ليش زين خلنا نتعرف عليها.
شو تتعرف عليها؟ مو بأي حد يبي يضيفك في السوشيال ميديا على طول تقبله، إلا عاد إذا كان بينكم تواصل.
أوكي ما بقى.
إيه جي أباك، مو بأي حد يضيفك تقبله.
زين أقول لك أنا الحين شوية مشغول باكر أمسك.
يلا زين بينا تواصل باكر.
تعرف ليش لا. الحق علي هزال الحق علي.
خير شو مسوي بعد؟
تحيد البنت اللي ضافتني امس.
ايه شو بلاها؟
ضفتها ورمستها وخبرتها كل شيء خاص عني، عقب كل شيء انقلب ضدي.
انا قايل لك اي حد يضيفك في مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي لا تقبله. وبعدين ليش انجلب ضدك؟
طلع رجال وهددني بمعلوماتي الخاصه، وقال لي اذا ما ارسل لي فلوس خلال 40 ساعه انه بيهددني وبيفضحني في كل مكان، وانا يا اخي ما فيني اتوهق.
خبرته هلك؟
لا ما فيني، انا اخاف.
ليش تخاف؟ بالعكس لازم يعرفون، وبعدين شيء جهات مختصه تقدر تساعدك على حل هذا الموضوع مثل خدمه الامين.
طوف طوف عيال خلينا نتصرف.
يلا يلا.
نو معك خدمة الأمين، تفضل معنا.
Believe it or not, this film totally has been published by the students. Actually, just I've seen it when they finish it. So I don't know anything about the scenario. They have done it themselves. So in collaboration toward the Beyond Child Online production, if you think your organization could add value to this global movement, we request you to collaborate with Beyond the UAE's mandate. So inshallah, we are looking for more cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ibrahim, for your presentation and getting people to know about Akhtar and what are the programs you are running across UAE for probably empowerment of the students. So I'm sure, there'll be a lot of collaboration suffered between the organizations sitting on the panel and elsewhere who are listening to the larger good. Now I pass on the stage to Clara. She is she's a child protection specialist from UNICEF. So probably we'll hear what's her perspective.
Yes, thank you so much. I work at UNICEF headquarters in New York in the child protection section. I am responsible for programming around violence against children, sexual abuse and exploitation, and online protection issues. We were asked to speak to what are some of the main challenges we encounter in our work and what is our own organization doing to address it and some key recommendations. I think you might have heard in other panels that globally 1 in 3 internet users is a child today. And we know that ICTs are really becoming an integral part of children's life and that children spend more and more time online, starting to use the internet and mobile phones at a very young age. And while we know that children's access to and use of ICTs are highest in high-income countries, it's really rapidly expanding all around the world. And I think for us in UNICEF, what we have been seeing is that one of the main challenges is that while we might have quite a lot of research in high-income countries about how children use ICTs and what risks and harm they face, we don't have as much information in low and middle-income countries, where we know that internet penetration is rapidly expanding. So we don't know necessarily what are the risks they face, what are the different types of harm, are they the same type of risk and harm, does it play out differently when it comes to gender, etc., and what are the specific experiences in different countries. I think also another challenge is that there's still quite low awareness among children, parents, and also teachers and caregivers about some of the risks that children face. And we have seen this in our program over the past couple of years. And then I think there's still insufficient capacity of some of the key stakeholders, such as governments, in how to address this issue, and also insufficient coordination. That's why it's so wonderful to see this example for the UAE, where you have a great example of multi-stakeholder collaboration. I think this is still nascent in some countries. So what are we doing in UNICEF to address this issue? UNICEF works in more than 150 countries in the world, and we have programs to address violence, preventing and responding to violence in more than 124 countries. So we really want to accelerate governments and civil society's capacity to implement the Sustainable Development Goal Agenda 2030, and in particular target 16.2, which is to protect children from all forms of violence, exploitation and abuse, including online violence, online child sexual exploitation and abuse. And last year, some of you might have participated in the We Protect panel yesterday. UNICEF also, together with many of the partners at this table, we implemented a global program to build capacity to tackle online child sexual exploitation in 70 countries worldwide, with the support of the UK government under the We Protect Global Alliance to End Online Child Sexual Exploitation. So we are working with governments and civil society, private sector, in ensuring that we have legislation in place, policies in place in the countries that protect children from online violence, online child sexual exploitation, that we have comprehensive services in place for children who have been abused online. This includes, for example, working also with reporting mechanisms such as helplines where children can report violence, but also the reporting mechanisms, and I'm sure that Susie will speak more from on the hotline perspective, where the general public can report online child sexual exploitation. We're also definitely working a lot with awareness raising with children themselves, parents and teachers in schools, because we also believe as ACBAR that schools is definitely one of the key venues where we need to work with children to inform them about the risk. And we're doing quite a lot of research also and evidence building. So I wanted to quickly mention some of the key global goods that we have developed last year. So we are right now finalizing a guide for governments on what are the national policies that should be in place to address online violence and online child sexual exploitation. This guide we're doing together with ITU and other partners, and it builds on an evidence review of what are the effective policies and what are the best practices out there, spanning on from prevention to response. We also worked quite a lot with industry, and I know that Natasha will speak more about collaboration between UNICEF and GSMA. I do want to mention that a couple of years ago, together with ITU and many of the partners at this table, we did launch these guidelines for industry on child online protection, and we have done quite a lot of other tools and guidance for industry that you can find on our website. We are also undertaking quite a lot of research, and there has been a panel previously on the Global Kids Online research, but we've also undertaken research with other organizations such as ECBAT International, and we have worked with the Family Online Safety Institute to set or update the Global Resource and Information Directory, which is an online platform where policymakers, private sector, general public, academia can go to this platform and basically find what are the current examples on how are we addressing child online protections around the world. It's a fantastic platform. I do invite everyone to look at it. And then lastly, we have also worked quite a lot on when it comes to the needs of victims. So we're looking into research and building the research on what are the needs that children have when it comes to recovery, and also building an international network of practitioners that can come together in an online community and learn from each other on what are the best practices out there. So these are some of the things. I know we're pressed in time on what we have done in the last couple of years on addressing this issue from UNICEF.
Thank you, Clara. I think it's very interesting what you have done. Now we will hear from Natasha Jackson. She is the head of policy, public policy from GSMA. So we will like to hear what are the industry perspective on this whole issue and how collaboration can be taken to the next step.
Okay, thank you. And for those of you who aren't aware of the GSMA is the Global Mobile Operator Association. So mobile operators around the world are all our members. And we work with them and have been working with them for the last, I think, 9 or 10 years on issues related to child online safety, both to tackle those areas of illegal content, child sexual abuse, images online, and also to make sure that the mobile environment, which is so hugely beneficial for children and everyone, it can become a safe environment, and children can access services in a safe, and that operators and industry is responsible in its approach. I just want to touch on one of the questions we were asked, which is about what are the challenges. Well, I've attended many IGFs over the years, and I collaborate with many stakeholders both in the room and out. And I think the continual challenge that we have is still around understanding and misunderstandings. So a lot of us have learned huge amounts over the years on the issues, but the services are always changing and the trends are changing, and that's why the research that Clara talked about is so important, and also that done by Sonia Livingston and her team, and we need to constantly be looking at that to understand. And I think even what we see from industry is even in countries that have been looking at these issues for a while, there can still be misunderstandings by some of the politicians who come in or out in terms of what are the different roles of ecosystem players, and what can industry and its partners do, to what extent can they take actions and where can they not take action. So it's really important for us, I think, to continually seek to learn more and understand more about these issues. The other two sort of challenges we have related to that are around processes, particularly regarding illegal child sexual abuse content, making sure that the right laws are in place and that the processes and the capabilities and procedures in companies and with law enforcement are in place. And we see that on both sides, and I'm going to hold my hand up in terms of industry. Not all of our members have individuals who are looking at child online safety issues in place today. The issue hasn't come to them. They're dealing with, really big immediate issues around connecting people first. So we need to get the knowledge, the understanding and procedures in place there. Equally, we probably need more on that on the law enforcement side as well when dealing with illegal content. And the third challenge is obviously time. It takes a long time to build up the capabilities, and probably within this room we have such huge knowledge and understanding, but that's built up for many years and many collaborations and discussions. So it takes time on companies. It takes a lot of time also to get individuals knowledgeable on issues, to get senior management understanding the issues and what their companies can do. So enough of the challenges. What do we do about it in industry? Well, at GSMA, what we do is we adopt the multi-stakeholder approach that everybody has talked about here. And so we have partnerships at a global level. We have partnerships with UNICEF, with Child Helpline International. We work with organizations such as the Internet Watch Foundation, with Susie here, also with hotlines, with InHope. We also work, obviously, and our members work with law enforcement in countries, and we work with other industry initiatives, and that's very important as well. As mobile operators, we recognize that the digital ecosystem is converging and is hugely converged. So we work also with other industry partners, with the Family Online Safety Institute, and with cross-industry coalitions such as the ICT Coalition in Europe, where we work with Microsoft and Google and companies like that. And we share our expertise, and we've deliver a lot of workshops. We also produce lots of reports, and examples that I have here here's one branded with UNICEF, which is on notice and takedown. It's about company procedures and policies that will help companies remove any images if they find them on their services. And this is not just focused on the mobile industry. So we work, as I said, across. We need to take responsibility for the whole digital ecosystem, all of us. We work with InHope to produce hotlines, so guides to setting up a hotline in countries where they don't exist. And we work with the IWF with them on that. And we also have guides. We've just very recently produced with Child Helpline International a series of guidelines on the different issues. Child Helpline International came to us saying that a lot of the people who work for the helplines don't know all of the issues around that children are now starting to reach out to them about, whether it's sexting or grooming, inappropriate conduct, discrimination and hate speech. So we have a series of very quick, almost cheat sheets on these issues that can help people who are new to these issues get up to speed very quickly. And we have not done this on our own. Again, it's multi-stakeholder. So the first page on these sheets shows all the contributors who've worked to help us pull it together. And that's industry, that's helplines around the world, it's companies like Facebook, all sorts. And these are available on the GSMA stand for those of you who are interested and want to get more. So I'll stop there.
Thank you, Natasha. Now we'll hear from Huta. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mohit, for giving me the floor, and thank you for inviting me to speak on this panel. First of all, I would like to congratulate the United Arab Emirates on that ACTA program, the educational program. I think it's very useful and a good example for collaboration. When it's my turn, I won't speak about educational programs. I would speak about stakeholder collaboration in the network, no gray areas, and I would like to explain a little bit more in detail what this means and what we mean when we are talking about the gray areas of child sexual exploitation and abuse. So when you look at the legislation about child sexual abuse material around the world, you will see that we have very different legal regulations of what is considered illegal and what is illegal in a country. And we also have content on the internet that might be considered illegal in one country, but is not considered illegal in another country. And we also have content on the internet that is not considered to be illegal at all, although it's very disturbing for the children that are depicted or that are commented on. So for example, we are talking about images that show children in erotic poses. These are illegal in Germany, for example, but they are not illegal in all other countries. But then we are also talking about everyday images that might be put up by children or by teenagers themselves, that might be completely innocent images, but they could be put into a sexualizing context. That means someone is commenting on these images, just saying what they would like to do to abuse that child that is depicted on that image. So these all are gray area images, and in the network No Gray Areas that we started 2 years ago in Germany with the support from the German Family Minister, we try to combat these images. So we came together with the hotlines from Germany, who already had been in the situation that they get reports on images where they have to assess whether this is illegal images and it's put forward to law enforcement, or whether it's not illegal, but still they think it's disturbing. What should we do with these images? What can we do about that? So then we came together with Google as the industry partner, the first industry partner to the network, who said, okay, we will have like an advertisement. If someone is searching for a certain search term on the internet, we can show them this advert that saying the content you are looking for might be illegal. So if you're really looking for that, you could turn to a counseling service, which is another partner in the project, which is the German project Don't Offend, but there are similar projects in the UK, for example, called Stop It Now, who offer counseling and service for people who are looking for such content who might need to get a therapy to that. So what the message from the network was, yes, we understand it's possible to combat this type of content. Then in 2015, we have set up a communique, which is now signed by 35 organizations around the world, who all agree that it's necessary to address the problem of this content that is in the gray area between legal content and illegal content. And as the next step this year, we have published a brochure. I can show that around, and maybe it's on the camera. So I have several copies with me. So, and this brochure, on the one hand, it explains the approach of the network No Gray Areas, how the stakeholders work together. It also helps hotline analysts as well as researchers and also industry to better differentiate. So it's not our attempt to take away from the internet any content that is perfectly innocent. But as soon as images of children are put in a sexualizing context, so that means the children's images are used for sexual arousal of adult people, then we try to make the providers take this content down. We try the hotlines to better understand, to differentiate between the innocent images and the images that are disturbing. And the brochure gives like a hands-on guide to hotline analysts and researchers and law enforcement to better understand what is a sexualizing comment on an image. What does it mean if you have these small emoticons or icons and they are also misused just to put images or to put content on the internet in a sexualizing context? So I'm very happy to talk to any of you about the brochure and the content of this. And my last remark would be, I can also tell you that we are doing the educational work, and if you're interested in what we are doing about children's rights and their right to be protected, but also the right to have their privacy and their freedom of expression, you're invited to join our workshop on Friday noon in workshop room number 5, which is called Children's Rights to Privacy, Safety and Freedom of Expression. Thank you.
Thank you, Huta, for your work, what you're doing, and also the innovative approach you have taken to probably address it in a right spirit. So I think thank you for that. Now we move on to Susie, and we would like to hear from Susie on how private sector as well as a representative from a global NGO works towards collaboration, and what are the steps.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. It's a great honour. Thank you very much. I represent the Internet Watch Foundation, which is one of the biggest hotlines in the world. We take action on illegal content, so child sexual abuse images and videos. We are actually an NGO, but we are a self-regulatory body for industry, so we're funded by the internet industry. And that means we have about 130 members, who include some of the biggest companies in the world: Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Twitter, and GSMA are members of ours, because we also have big mobile operators, ISPs and filterers. But there are a lot of ISPs and mobile operators who are not members of the IWF, particularly in areas of Africa and South America, and these are companies that we want to develop a relationship with, because the key to removing online child sexual abuse for us is working closely with industry. So I'm going to tell you about how we work with industry. And from our point of view, it's a very fruitful, balanced relationship. We get a lot from industry, and hopefully they get a lot from us. And they do the responsible thing and work with us to remove online child sexual abuse. So we've been going for 20 years. And we've assessed over 700,000 reports, and last year we removed 68,000 images and videos of child sexual abuse. We actually account for 75% of the InHope database, so one hotline alone accounts for that. You asked what the challenges are, and the challenges are keeping up with technology for us. So there are obviously huge issues around legislation, law enforcement, and the relationship there is obviously really key. But I just want to talk about the technology side. So we provide a range of services to the internet industry. And we also work with them and learn from them, because they're the biggest innovators in the world. So for instance, for the last year, we've had a Googler in residence who's been creating bespoke software for us. We're also working with a number of major companies, particularly Microsoft, on piloting and developing pioneering technology to help us fight this problem. And I'm just going to talk about a couple of key things. One is we have a blocking list, a URL list, which goes out across the world. There are about 2,500 URLs on that list every day. It's very dynamic. About 300 go on and about 300 go off every day. And that goes out across the world to stop people from accidentally stumbling on child sexual abuse. If they do stumble on it, they often get a message explaining what's happened, why they've been blocked, and what to do if they're worried about their behaviour or if they think they've been blocked in error. But of course, we also have to deal with technology issues like the increase of encryption, and also look at ways in which our blocking list is relevant and has a sustainable future. And one of the things that's really changed for us over the last year is we've been developing a hash list. Now, every image that goes out can be applied, a digital fingerprint can be applied to that image. And the most common version of a digital fingerprint is Microsoft's PhotoDNA, which many of you will have heard about. And that means you can apply, it's an algorithm, onto each image, And then that algorithm will also apply if the image is slightly changed. So if it's cropped or it's slightly different, you'll still be able to find that image with that algorithm. Now, we've been working initially with 5 companies, Microsoft, Twitter, Google, Facebook, and Yahoo, to pilot developing a hash list where they ran a series of 20,000 images of the very worst kind, category A, through their services to stop them being uploaded in the first place. And we also have powers to proactively search the internet. So we're using our hash list, which currently stands at around 140,000 images, to actually go out and search for all those duplicates. Now, why is that important? It's important because nobody knows how many images and videos are out there, but the number of duplicates is huge. So our analysts don't see very many new images. They see the same images again and again and again and again. And to give you an example, last year we worked with a young woman in the US who had been notified by US law enforcement that her series of images had actually been found on over 1,500 people who had been arrested. And one image in particular had been viewed over 70,000 times. So you can see how important it is that we have the technology to go out and find those duplicates and bring them down. So that's why the relationship with industry is absolutely key. But also, the reason the industry works with us is because we're independent, we're trusted, we can quality assure our work, and they need to know that they can trust that. So it's hugely important. The other thing to say is Microsoft have given us their cloud function so that people can download our hash list directly from the cloud. And finally, I wanted to say we also do research with industry. So as well as pioneering new techniques and methodologies, we work with industry on research to look at what's coming up and look at ways in which we can combat the next challenge in terms of technology. So those, I think, are some of the huge challenges, but also if we don't work with industry, we're not going to resolve this issue. Okay, so that is absolutely essential. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susie. So last but not the least, we'll move to David. David is special for me because he comes from our region, and he's the one who works on the ground for ensuring that Asia is secure, and this is a big issue in Asia, particularly Southeast Asia, where he comes from. So let's hear from David.
Thank you. It's very happy to be here. I'm David from Doctors Foundation. We are a group of people who really concerned on the child online safety issues and also want to promote child-free internet. We got partners in the Asia region and also around the world to promote our mission. So on the perspective of we want to share more on how we encourage the student participation on the issue to concern about their own rights and responsibility online. On that, I first want to share about this some youth and student engagement work in internet governance. As you can see, in the current time, we got IGF to be appeared around the world and engaging youth in the discussion of internet governance issue. Some partners with us is Net Mission ambassadors. They are also here on the floor. They are the group of youth from Hong Kong. Their work is mainly focused on the Asia region. They organized the youth IGF in the Asia region for 7 years. This is engaging the uni students to understanding the internet issues. They was already organized 7 years, but for this year, they also started a new initiative in Hong Kong, which is called HKY IGF. We also got representatives from HKY IGF to be here with us this time. And for the program, is mainly focused on the high school students in Hong Kong. We recruit students in Hong Kong that experience a workshop about seminars on the child online safety issues, a 3-day camp, and also a summit. Throughout the camp, they got activities. For example, they were making movies by themselves to promote a 1-minute movie by themselves to promote how they think about the internet issues, especially on the area of child online safety issues, such as cyberbullying, cyber addiction, and also privacy issues. They make a very impressive movie that they can share with their peers. It's just a 1-minute movie, but I'm really impressed that because they finished their job in like 3 hours time and just just a very short period of time and makes good use of the technology like mobile phone and some apps that can be easily downloaded online. So on this is using other perspective and other method of like how we can engage students to be the peer supporters and the organizers of some of the events. They can promote the message of child online safety on a sense. So I do think it is one of the methods we can do in the coming future. For example, organizing the youth IGF in the local initiative RISE. It can also be organized in the country-based YIGF. We are looking for, especially for the Asia region, because we got YIGF organized every year as a regional meeting in the AP region. We are looking forward for the AP region, especially that got more local initiative of IGF, that we can have a better collaboration on the sense. On the other issue we want to like to share is also about some initiative in the region that we our partner is doing. I would like to introduce a campaign which is you can also search it online. #SafeRap4Kids. This is an event with partnership with UNICEF in the region and also Child Rights Coalition Asia. They including students from 8 Southeast Asia country. They're doing consultation, a regional meeting to consult how they think about the internet and make a very useful guideline for children to surf it online, how they tackle the problems. So I do think from the user's perspective, children can give good suggestion to their peers on how they can tackle the cyber online safety issues. And also they're also making some video to promote in their own countries. So this is of some of the events we are supporting, and I do think it is some kind of good models in a sense. Last but not least, I want to, because my main focus is also for the engagement for youth and children in the internet governance. Right after this session at 12 in room 4, we got a session to discuss how we can have better collaborations on the youth initiative about engaging youth in IG. So I encourage everyone to join with us to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So now I come to the best part of the session. So we would like to open the forum for any questions we have or any probably better suggestions on collaborative efforts between the organizations here and elsewhere for a larger cause. The idea is that we have to move ahead from keeping ourselves restricted to probably detection, and we have to move to prevention, and also we have to move towards more enablement of youth and children in general. So yeah, any questions on the floor? Do we have any questions from remote? Okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Jamlai Kamau from Kenya in Africa. I have a question to, perhaps it will be taken care of by Jutta and Susie as well, and Clara of UNICEF. It's about some NGOs, non-government organizations, who sometimes look a bit deviant when they use images of children, malnourished children, especially in those less developed countries like Africa, South Asia, and other areas. And I was just wondering, what policies can we be able to put in place so that we can stop such misuse? Because I consider that to be misuse when they put photographs and images of children who look very malnourished, and yet at the end of the day, it is for their own financial gain. I don't know how we can go about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, do we have any other questions?
That's the UNICEF question.
Yeah, so can you also?
Is asking for mic. Okay, enabled. Okay.
Quarters in the, can you hear me?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me the space. And first of all, I would like to congratulate all the panelists. It has been a very interesting session, and it's good to see very, close colleagues who I had been working with for all these years in the panel. So hello to everyone there. My comment is towards Dr. Ibrahim. Just a very brief comment, and I know my colleague Clara had presented UNICEF's work and our take on this issue. I would just like to add that it's very encouraging that while empowerment of young people as they journey through their childhood to youth and beyond, the empowerment is so critical. But at the same time, you are partnering with ESEF, who is bringing the whole element of understanding of risks and new developments in this space. Which goes hand in hand and to strike a critical balance between the protection of children and the empowerment, and this is so important. I just wanted to flag that as a very important direction, which the country should adapt. So that was my observation. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Any other questions from the floor? Yeah.
Hello, I am Marcela Charny from Argentina. It's not a question, it's just, well, a question for everybody, unless our youth representative. I feel that there is a lack of participation, a real participation of youth and children in your programs, in your projects. I cannot see them. I have seen your video, that's all right. We do some videos the same, but I feel that we are not evolution in the way the children and youth can help in each of the programs you have exposed.
I can just reframe that. I think what you mentioned is how we can probably be more innovative to probably have more inclusion for them. So we have to be encouraging as well as inclusive to include them more. Maybe we have to come up. Maybe we have one more question from there, and that's the last probably. Yeah, maybe one more. So two of the questions, and then probably we'll have a closing remark and answers.
Good morning. Congratulations for the presentations. My name is James Rege from Kenya. It's not a question, but I just want to tell you what I'm doing in my constituency in Kenya with the schools. There's the early child education and primary schools. What I've done is that I have created an intranet where I download content from the internet like Wikipedia, YouTube, the school syllabus, and anything that I would like the kids to see. And I then disconnect the server from the World Wide Web, so they don't get to see or to snoop around the World Wide Web. This will train them and teach them over a long period of time to understand that that's the only content that they are allowed to see, and they will also love to see, to check any other things except for the bad areas that they are not needed to see. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Wahab Sadat. I'm Deputy Minister for Ministry of Communications and Information Technology of Afghanistan. I would like to congratulate the panel for the wonderful information provided. But I would like to have your consideration about the context we are living in. You may be aware our country is recently advancing in technology and information technology, and at the same time we have given access to children for education. Unfortunately, because of the issues that we have discussed in this panel and because of the risks that we have from internet for the children, parents are not very much in favor of allowing their children to have access to internet. although it's very much important for their education level. I would like to ask the panel members on how technologically can we have a short-term solution, because long-term solution is really an issue, and we are working on it in terms of legal documentation, in terms of the support that we need from the government institutions. But technologically, how we can at least shorten, if not completely mitigate, the risks that the children are facing, and let them access the internet for the education purposes. Because today it's a real impediment. The parents in our country are not really willing to have their children access the internet for the risks that it's posing. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. So I have precise 7 minutes now left for the conclusion. So I'll probably give 1 minute each to the panel members for them to respond, and if they have any closing remarks. Yeah, if somebody wants to start.
Answering the questions? Well, to me, answering your question is really, as a technology only helping, is adding value to the protections or to the speed of controlling the material on the internet. This is how I see it. It's only controlling the material on the internet. But education is number one. We have to educate our children, parents, everyone about the knowledge, about the risks, and what are the results after and before the education. Tools are there, and governments are implementing some of the tools. Like in UAE, United Arab Emirates, we are banning all the sex related material. We are not allowing any sex material on the internet through the IBs. And there's other tools also they are using. So UAE is controlling somehow the sex material or abusing of children or other risks to the children. But education is number one. Thank you.
I think we should, we should define, make very clear definition, what is the internet. This is the internet. So I think nowadays we are living, at least any single of us has 2 mobile. The same with our kids, the same with new generation. The internet, it is not the PC or laptop. This is not the idea to control the school or control the house. So that's why we believe, we used to think on behalf of the students. We used to design our program on behalf of the students. We used to implement our program on behalf of the students or the youth. What I believe is to empowerment the youth, give him the tools so they can challenge. Now, for example, 20 years back, myself, 20 years or 30 years, I was aware of my kids not to go to the 6 websites. Now, I hope this word is not recorded. I pray for my son, my kids go for 6 websites, but not to go to the ISIS, not to go to the Daesh, not to go to the drug websites. This is the problem. So that's why I think we should give more empowerment for new generation. Let them work alone. Let them to be totally isolated with our support. Thank you.
Yes, I don't think we have time for all the questions, and I'm happy to take some of them, including the question from Kenya about the malnourished children afterwards. I do think that I agree, we need to focus on prevention, but also on response. It's about balancing children's rights to having access to the internet at the same time being protected from harm. It's about empowering children, and yes, I agree, we did not focus enough on the children's participation. It's critical. I also think that we need to better understand what are the effective policy and program responses in different contexts. So, for example, to the gentleman from Afghanistan, I completely understand the challenge, and I would assume also that in such a context that it's not only about empowering children to using the internet, but it's actually to working with parents as well and improving their digital skills as well. So those are some of the things that we would focus on.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Claire. If you can be quick.
Thank you. Yes, I'll be quick. So obviously I would echo the same remarks on education and collaboration. It's important. I also wanted to highlight that in terms of, we all recognize the benefits that come from mobile and digital technologies, but in terms of getting connectivity out to those areas where perhaps many people haven't used it, as part of the efforts that the GSMA undertakes in that is looking at digital literacy. And in one area of that is also around women. Women are much less likely to own a mobile phone and to understand the technologies. And as primary caregivers in many countries of the world, if they don't understand it, how are they educating their children? So within our Mobile for Development organization, we have also programs who are working with NGOs and others to increase connectivity and digital literacy in countries where mobile technology is still only just being extended today.
Great, thank you.
Yes, I want firstly to pick up on that question from the colleague from Kenya, from Nairobi, about the deviant use of images of children for the commercial purpose of some organizations. And I think that's also related to the message I've given before. Everybody should know about using images and what could happen with images that are put up onto the internet. That is partly education, that is also education of parents and education somehow of organizations, but that is also part of respecting the rights of the child, because the children themselves have their right on their own images. So it's not only educating them not to use the images in the wrong way, but also respecting their rights on their own images from the organizations you have been talking about, but also from all the other internet users. And again, I would like to stress that we need to have a shared responsibility for this. We could not only blame the children, either they are educated, digital literate, or they are not. We could not blame them only for when their images are misused. It's also a responsibility of the other stakeholders, of the companies that could help to take them down, of the hotlines who take the reports. So we need that shared responsibility approach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, very quickly, I know. So I just want to respond about the role of young people. So as well as being at the Internet Watch Foundation, I'm a director of the UK Safer Internet Centre with partners ChildNet International and Southwest Grid for Learning. And actually they do the awareness raising side, the education programme, and also have a helpline. And young people are at the very heart of every single thing they do, and they run Safer Internet Day. So young people do play a huge role in this. Obviously, my area of work is criminal content, so clearly young people are not engaging with us on every day except for within the content. So I just want to assure you that in the UK, we really do ensure that young people are included. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, a very short one. I do really appreciate the panel's work on how we can protect the children on the sense. When you talk about collaboration, it's not only by one party, we need to have the multi-stakeholder engagement, for example, the policymakers, NGOs, industry, children themselves, and also caregivers. I think all of us is doing in a different rate on how we can protect children for the child online safety issues. So for the very close remark in the short way is I encourage everyone to join us in the sense to how we can protect the children online, because we are all the stakeholders of the internet, and the issues nowadays is very new for our new generation. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And thank you all for being part of this. A round applause for all the panel members. But I also want to emphasize that this is just a beginning. I mean, we have just kind of broken the ice. So it's just about for you to take it forward in the hallways, in the meeting rooms, on the coffee table, and make the collaboration happen. Thank you for the panel.